Today I'm going to go through setting up your OneDrive and SharePoint for use in Windows. I'm going to share out a screen. This is a new account set up specifically for this. And you can see here I have teams set up with his various teams and channels that this person is a member of. We're going to start by setting up OneDrive though. So I'm going to go out to my browser and go to portal.office.com. Here in portal.office, you can see I'm getting my message of Teams. This is a brand new setup. You can click on the 9 dots out here and get to any of your Office applications that you might want to get to. We're going to work on OneDrive today. And so with OneDrive here, I'm going to come here and you can see I don't have any recent files. If I go into my files, right now I have apps, but that is it. So I'm going to click over here on the cog and go down to sync this OneDrive. It's going to give you the security message letting you know that a web page is trying to open a local application on your computer. Since we did click the link and we are wanting to open OneDrive, we're going to click open. And that will open OneDrive here. And so we're going to sign in. And it is going to ask me for my password. And we'll put my password in. And it will do the MFA, which we're going to go into the MFA app, type the code, and get authenticated. Once we're authenticated here, OneDrive will walk me through some setup here. And so if you needed to change your location of your OneDrive folder, you can do that here. We normally choose the defaults. And it's going to ask you this question here. This is highly recommended that you back up your documents, your pictures, and your desktop so that if something were to happen to your local machine, those files are backed up. Also, it makes it easier if you're using multiple machines. So if you're going between a laptop and a desktop, you can always have the same files accessible on both. And so we're going to do start backup. And it will synchronize. It's going to move on, give me some informational screens about OneDrive here, how to share files. But this is an important screen. When you're looking at icons in your OneDrive, you'll see the cloud, which means that it's online only. It's using up minimal space on your hard drive, just some search data, metadata that allows searching to happen on your local device. If you've opened a file, you'll see it go with the green on white background. This green on white background tells you that it is taking up space on your device, but if you do not access this file, in about 10 to 14 days, it will move it back into a cloud-only, online-only presence and alleviate the space off your hard drive. If you need something on your machine all the time, you can set it that way, and it'll be this white on green check mark. And we'll go through on how to do those things here in a bit. So we'll go next. If you need the mobile app, you can click on that. It'll walk you through getting the mobile app. We don't need that right now. And so it's the OneDrive is ready for you. Open my OneDrive. And what you'll notice here is my OneDrive has my desktop, my documents, and my pictures. And you'll notice back here in the background that online, those same folders have appeared. So we now have access to this both online and on your OneDrive sync to your local computer. Currently, the only files I have in there are a picture of a headshot, and it is right now in this icon. This is an icon that will be important to you. It's the sync icon. It means this file is syncing between the cloud and your local machine. This will clear here in a minute and turn into the white on green check mark, so that it will take it off my computer if I don't access it within the next couple of days and free up that space. So OneDrive is now set up. You'll notice that up here I have my OneDrive, and it has the blue cloud logo. Blue cloud logo down here matches that. If you click on that, you'll get synchronization information, file information. If you have any problems, it'll appear here. If you don't know if your OneDrive is currently set up and you want to know if your backups are happening, if you click on the cog and go to settings, it'll take you to this page, which will let you know what account you are signed in as, and anything you have synced. We can show you this later once we sync SharePoint and show you that those will show up on here. If we go up to the sync and backup section and go into manage backup, this is the same screen as you saw before. You'll notice all these are toggled on. If they're not toggled on, you can toggle them on, do save changes, and they will start backing up for you. Again, that is important from a lost data perspective, or if you use multiple machines. When you move to a new machine, when you sign in and you get your OneDrive going, all those files will come back. Then it's the same across all machines. So very important that we make sure that that is done. Out here on our, to get to our SharePoint, click on this. You notice SharePoint is right there. So we can go to that. This test site has a number of different, get through the menus there, number of different sites, but this is the site for this user. It's our landing page. And this is our Jolly Santa Consulting homepage. You'll notice got different areas here on SharePoint. This is our standard setting for most SharePoints. At the top here, you'll have different areas you're able to get into. The other thing you'll notice is those areas will mimic your teams. And so where this is the JSC Rocks, there's the JSC Rocks team in general. There's an accounting. And then under departments, you'll see here, there's the elves, there's the HR forms, and the list. When we come back over to here, you'll notice that we have the same structure over here set up for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over to accounting at this point in time and go to the document section. In this document section, I'm going to click the sync button right here. And it's going to give me that security question again about opening a local application. And since I did it and I know what it's doing, I'm going to go ahead and say open. And you notice it came up and said syncing. We'll be right back. Now when I come in here, I now have JS Computech logo down here for with the building icon. And we'll see the JSC Rocks accounting documents is here. When I go in there, that folder, you'll see general, just like you see here on the web. And so there's two different ways you can get to those files. You can either go to the general or through the web interface, or you can use your local Windows Explorer interface and get to the general here because it's synchronizing. It is synchronizing with the same rules as before. So, and only things you open will get copied down to your computer so that you're not synchronizing into an entire SharePoint space. The other thing I want to share with you is in Teams. If you notice that in this accounting general, and I go to the Files tab here, this Files tab is the same. It's already in the general because I was in the general channel. The files would be the same here. What I'm going to show you here is going up to JSC Rocks departments. And I'm going to go to Files here. And you see this folder is empty when I go up to departments here. And I'm going to go over to documents. The general folder here is empty as well. I do have some things in HR forms in the list, but what I want to show you is that if I go here and do the top level of documents where these folders are, I can click sync here, and it's going to do the exact same thing that it does on the web, because this is the exact same spot as it is on SharePoint that it is off the web page. And now, when I come down here to JS Computech, we now have departments here. And when I go into the departments folders and I go into the elves, that one is empty. It is still syncing. And we can see that things are syncing in here. And so we might just give it a second to finish its synchronization. I will tell you that over here in the HR forms section, those did already sync. So here are the files under their typical HR type forms you would see. When I go here in HR forms, it's the same files you can see. And when I go into Teams here in HR forms, same files. So I can get to those files in any of the three areas that plus your mobile device, if you have Teams on it or the OneDrive client. So I can get to my files through Teams. I can get to my files through the web browser, or I can get through it through File Explorer. File Explorer, if you double click on this, it will open Word just like normal, Excel just as normal. When you open those files from a browser, what you will notice is that it will open in the browser by default. This is just a simple Word form. It will go into autosave mode. So as you type, it will save changes. If you wanted to then open it into an application, you can click over here on this option, and you see it gives you the editing, reviewing, or viewing, but we want to open in desktop app. This will open in Word, as you can see, and it's going to have me sign in because I've not opened Word on this account before. So I'm going to do Santa Claus at jsc.rocks, and it recognizes this as a login, lets me in. And now I have this file open here. It is in autosave mode up here. So same thing, all changes will be saved. If somebody else was in this file, you would see their icon up here, and you would see a icon of where they're at in the document. As you can see here, this red one is actually where I'm in there from an online perspective, to give you an idea of what it'll look like. So the other people that are in it, they'll have a colored icon and it'll show you where they're at. So from the file browser in SharePoint, I can always click on these three dots, and I have many options here. It's much like right-clicking on a icon in your Windows Explorer. So you can do open, and you have your choice of in the browser, in the app, or in an immersive reader. The other thing that is very nice to have is version history. When you open version history, it will give you versions as things change in the document. And you can always roll back to restore or view a previous version to see what has changed in the document. Excel, you have the same type of options, browser and app. You can go into your version history. But because just like Word, this will save automatically, this works great for everything except for templates. In my old way of doing things, I would open an Excel document, fill out the template, and then do File, Save As. But because this is saving as you go, whether it's in the browser or in the app, you'll need to do File, Save As on a template immediately, so that no changes you make get shared out into the template, and they save where you're at. So that is my warning on templates in the autosave. The same thing would go, list should be there. This should have synced by now. And so If I come up here to the list, that's there. The list is very important to Santa, so he likes to keep that on his machine at all times because Wi-Fi on the sleigh doesn't work very well and doesn't always get mobile signal up there, way up in the skies. So we're going to right click on this and we're going to use the option of always keep on this device. You'll see it'll synchronize here for a second, and it will change to that the white on green circle once it fully copies the file down. And you can always go in here and look, and you can see what's synchronizing, and it's still preparing to sync. This machine's moving a little slow today. I think it might be the Microsoft side of things from some of the things I've been seeing, but it will change to that icon here. The other thing I'm going to show you real quick is when you go to the desktop here, it's really your OneDrive desktop now. When I go to Documents, it's still your OneDrive. And of course, Pictures is still your OneDrive. So that is consistent across the board on all these things. Your downloads is not backed up. So if you save a lot of things to your downloads that you want to keep, and you want to keep it across devices and want to keep it safe from disasters happening to your hard drive or your machine, don't save things in your downloads, move it over to your documents, or move it to an appropriate place on SharePoint where you should be storing documents. Going in here now, I'm going to see back if in here and the list, you can see that there it has now changed to white on green with the circle. I can open the list here and give me that. I can make changes here on the list. You can also see if I open the list here in the browser, give you an idea of what that looks like. So those are our people on the list. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add a person, and we'll just make up a name here. We got David Jones. David's on the nice list, so he goes nice. You can see that my other version of this in the browser, this is the field they're on. When I move over here to the browser, you can see that it is there. See if I can get this and show you that when I change down here and I go to, we'll do Sally, I already used Susie Snowflake, so Sally Brown. I go over here, you will see this update. There you go. It says Sally Brown there. And Sally's not been very good this year, so we're going to put her on the naughty list and move down. And you can see that changes there. So you can see real time how these things change and work together as you're working through the objects here. So again, close that down. It will save my, you can see it saved there before it closed, but I'm still here. Okay, so we've gone through how to use Excel, how to use the dots. I've shown you how you keep a file on your computer at all times. We've also seen that when you open a file, it will go to the green on white background. But that other file that I had, and it's now January, Christmas is done. I don't need the list because we know Santa only looks at the list in December. That's why kids don't behave out of the 11 months of the year. but I don't need it on my computer all the time. I can go down here to free up space. This will synchronize and move to the cloud. So this is no longer taking up any space on my hard drive. You can do this at any level. You can do it at a folder level or an individual file level. That option exists. Either keep on this device or free up space will always exist at either the file or the folder level. So you have that option at all times. The picture's still not syncing. Don't know why. But that is how to set up OneDrive, how to navigate your SharePoint, and how to set up your sync from SharePoint and how to access it. Again, remember, I still can open it over here in Teams. You have the three dots. The only difference in Teams is you can actually edit a file in Teams, and it's basically the browser in Teams is what it'll open up. But you can open in the app out of Teams as well. So Teams, SharePoint websites, and your File Explorer all will have the same file in the same location. And that allows you to access the information however it's easiest for you to access the information. Thank you for your time.